What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Mama's Legacy podcast. I'm joined here with the Goat fan.
Yo, what's up?
I'm joined here with Mr. Hollywood himself, Prezi Harden.
How y'all doing? Good to
I'm
be back
joined.
as always.
I love having you here, man. And I'm joined here with Derek.
What's good, man?
All right, so we have a lot to talk about right now. The Bucks Heat game, I think we'll start off right there. Giannis shot 10 of 27, and he was really bad from the free throw line with 6 for 13. I was gonna say, is this gonna be concerning? But right now, the Bucks are just handing the Heat their ass.
They're like up 30,
Yeah.
aren't they?
What was that?
They're up like 30, aren't they?
Yeah, no, they're up 30 right now. So it's not too concerning, but let's just talk about the game right now. Is this more surprising on the Bucks side or more surprising on the Heat side? We'll start off with Prezi.
I think it's surprising for the Heat because I think a lot of people going into the series expected somewhat of a similar fight for the Heat from last season, where we had the Heat kind of like they were very well planned for the Milwaukee Bucks, where they knew how to stop Giannis. They were like, okay, we're gonna build a wall around Giannis. We're gonna make sure that he doesn't get to the basket, and that just didn't happen in this game one, and also right now in this game two. This game two is actually not more of Giannis. This is kind of straying a little bit off topic here, but this one isn't Giannis. This is more of, I think, the role player. Bryn Forbes was going off. I'll check that out. Okay. Giannis is also getting his own this game, but yeah, going back to game one, we all thought that the Milwaukee Bucks would be game planned again by the Miami Heat like they were last season, but that didn't work. Bam Adebayo just wasn't himself. He hasn't been himself in either of these games. Jimmy Butler was absolutely locked down by literally everyone who guarded him. Drew Holiday locked down Jimmy Butler. Giannis locked down Jimmy Butler. PJ Tucker held him to 0 for 6. He had him in Alcatraz in the minutes that he was guarding him. And the Milwaukee Bucks they are just really well planned this time around for the Miami Heat. And it seems like they knew ahead of time what they were going to do, and they seem a lot more ready to play the Miami Heat, whereas last season it seemed like the Heat completely caught them off guard. This Milwaukee Bucks team looks much more prepared, and I think they're much more dangerous than what they showed up with last season.
I definitely agree with you, Prezi. Now let's move on a little bit. So you have, like you said, this is a lot of the bench play right now. Giannis has still got 25 and 12 right now, but like Drew Holiday has 13 assists, 9 points, and 4 rebounds. He's outperforming Jimmy Butler this game. My Legoat fan, are you impressed with Drew Holiday, and how big of an upgrade is he compared to Bledsoe from last season?
Yeah, I'm really impressed with what he can do on both the offensive and defensive end. I feel like a lot of people sleep on Bledsoe, or at least they did last year. But I think that although, yes, Holiday is better, I feel like it's not that much of a difference to really be something to like look out for like that. But I do see the impact that he brings. But yeah, I do think I do agree with what you said. It's also important to look at that he is, yes, indeed playing out or outplaying Jimmy Butler, which I think that's going to be a big problem with the Heat moving forward. I feel like Jimmy Butler has to step up and kind of play the same way he did in the finals last year, and maybe not get a triple-double every game, but like he needs to at least score 20.
Yes, no, Jimmy Butler needs to step up his game right now. Right now, he's played 29 minutes, only has 10 points, 4 assists, and 2 rebounds. He's been playing decent defense, but nothing that stopped this other team. I mean, this whole Heat team right now looks kind of dead in the water. So Derek, right now with the Heat, how concerning is Jimmy Butler right now and Bam Adebayo? Because Bam Adebayo has not been himself this entire series.
I think the whole thing with Bam right now is that he is not like confident or he's not being aggressive. Because I think I saw clips of like Jimmy telling this man to shoot or telling him to take certain shots, and like Jimmy looked pissed as hell. But at the same time, do you know what Jimmy's percentage is for game one?
Ooh, it was 4 for 22.
4 for 22. Shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just Jimmy fucking up. Like, cause I mean, like he said, they were holding him like to 0 for 6. His fucking defense was locked down on him. I was watching the highlights so they just be more prepared. But I mean, they had good playmaking. Like the only reason that they were in it, if that man was really shooting 4 for 22, was because of Robinson, and I don't think that's gonna happen again. Like Prezi Harden said, the team is like way more prepared to face Miami this time. It's like they got a specific game plan to face Miami. Like they knew what they were doing when they were headed into this.
Well, no, I do think they had a game plan. They could have lost their last game, kept their seeding, and they wouldn't have played the Miami Heat. But they won that to go at the Miami Heat. I think they were ready for this matchup, and it's really showing. Now we'll just run through this real quickly, everybody. At the beginning, before the games played, did you guys have the Heat winning or the Bucks?
I personally had it as the Bucks in 7, but I saw it at a point where like this could really go either way. I thought this would be like a coin flip of a series, kind of like what people thought of it was last year. People thought last year this would be a super close series between the Bucks and the Heat. But last season, it was the Heat just sort of steamrolling through the Milwaukee Bucks. And if the way this series is going right now says anything, it seems like it's going to be the flip side of the coin this time around. It's going to be the Milwaukee Bucks absolutely steamrolling through the Miami Heat. Now, again, game 3 will be played in Miami, game 4 as well. And so that home court advantage might be a bit of a factor, enough of a factor for Miami to sort of pull the series back even. But even then, this is a completely different series than last season, because last season, the Miami Heat quite clearly were the better team than the Milwaukee Bucks. But this season, Milwaukee proving that they are a better team than Miami. And the additions of Drew Holiday and the little bench additions with Bryn Forbes coming in, it's been huge for them. And it is really showing.
Yes, no, this is actually really embarrassing. I mean, Bam Adebayo only has 2 rebounds. He's the starting. Dwayne Dedmon has the most rebounds on the team. That says something right there. You're in trouble. Lego, did you have the Heat or Bucks winning the series?
It's funny because I actually had the Heat in 5, and mainly because I felt like Chris Middleton, who was the Bucks' second option, I feel like he disappears a lot in clutch situations. But obviously, you know, what we saw in game 1 disproved that. So I feel like the Heat, I don't want to say they're bubble frauds, but I feel like they're just not what they were in the bubble. I think that Tyler Hero isn't playing to the level he should be playing to. So I really strongly believe now that the Bucks will sweep them. So it'll be Bucks in 4. And I think that, you know, of course, injuries, Oladipo being injured did hurt the Heat, but I think that the Heat, it's not, if they lose, it's not something that they should be too concerned about in the future.
I would be concerned depending on the level of play. If Jimmy Butler plays this way the entire series and Bam play this way the entire series, I would start to be concerned. But if they step it up and it's a close series after the rest of it, I definitely feel okay going into next season. But Derek, real quick, did you have the Bucks or Heat winning this?
And like, if we talk about who I thought would win it,
Yes.
I thought it was going to be a toss up. Like, all I was saying was that it was definitely going to go to like a game 7. But like they said, I think at this rate, it's probably, I think at most it's going to be Bucks in 5. Because, I mean, they're really dominating right now. And Jimmy and Bam still are not playing like how they're supposed to be playing, like how we know they are to play. And I think, who said something about the bubble? I think they're right. Where I wouldn't call them bubble frauds, but it's so much different to be in the bubble because it's like there was immediate care and attention to certain things. It's just like things that they don't have anymore. And so it's a big factor and it's a big change. I think the same thing LeBron said.
You know, it's definitely affecting the younger guys on the team being in an actual playoff atmosphere. You can really see Tyler Hero has 0 points in 8 minutes, 7 minutes. He's not doing too hot. The younger guys are not doing as well as they should have. I mean, Bam Adebayo for starters, he's a younger guy. He's in a real big playoff environment, a lot of pressure on him, and he's underperforming. But that'll bring us right into our next topic, the Blazers and Nuggets. Jokic had 34 points, but only 1 assist compared to his 8.3 average on the season. MPJ stepped up. He kind of ran the offense, I think, really well. But the Blazers played like the better team. Are you guys rethinking your predictions on this series? I mean, I think the Nuggets will win. But after watching it last night, the Blazers have really made a case for how they can win this game. So we'll go real quick. Derek, what are 3 keys for the Blazers to win this series?
I feel like there's nothing that the Blazers can really do because I think what we saw last night was like top Blazers performance. Like I don't think that there's much more that they can do from last night, or not last night. I don't know when game 1 was, but I don't think there's much more that they can do from game 1. I mean, it was a good win. It was like a solid, like, what was like 12-point game. It was a good win. But I feel like it was just the Nuggets overall choking near the end. So I think they need to, I mean, they do have a case for taking the series after that game. It's going to go down really just to what the Nuggets are doing with the playmaking obviously being off, Jamal Murray being out, and then like in their hopes, probably MPJ won't be averaging as much as it looks like he's going to average because he had like 25. I think he's stepping up, taking the offense, elevating it. But other than that, like probably it's more than likely the rest of the guys aren't playoff performers, and so it's really just down to Jokic and MPJ.
I agree with that. Now I'll counter this with you, Spurs Legoat. What are 3 keys the Nuggets need to do to win this series?
So yeah, for stars, I really feel like they're another injury like riddled team. And I know the league has faced a lot of injuries this season, but the Nuggets, they're missing Jamal Murray, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're missing Will Barton. So I feel like they lost a great portion of their playmaking. And even though they still have Jokic, I feel like Jokic, he can't do everything on the court, especially in like a playoff atmosphere. So one thing would definitely be they need other people to be able to space the floor and kind of like create shots for everyone. Then 2, I think they need to work on their defense. I feel like with players like Damian Lillard and Carmelo, who are known to hit big shots in big moments, I feel like they need to have people that are ready to shut them down in the clutch. And also, I feel like, I do feel like another key would be Jokic. I feel like Jokic needs to be able to, I don't know, like I don't want to contradict myself, but I feel like although he can't do everything on the court this whole series, I feel like you also need like to be able to be prepared to do more than he normally does, because without Murray, he is going to need to show some of that pressure from running the floor and being the playmaker the Nuggets need him to be.
I definitely agree with all 3 of those points, and I think the Nuggets still have a very solid chance to win this series. But with the Blazers taking game 1, of course, I think it's made a little bit more of a mix for this. Now, Prezi, what is the biggest takeaway from game 1 from each side? Biggest Portland takeaway and biggest Nugget takeaway?
For the Trailblazers, I think this is probably one of the best games that they could have played. I did not get a chance to watch the entirety of the game. Again, I live in the Eastern time, and timing with that is kind of weird, so I couldn't watch the entirety of the game. But from what I saw, the way the Trailblazers are running their offense right now is really interesting to see. They are, again, we know as NBA fans that Nikola Jokic's weakness is his defense. He's not the best defender, and he can be a target. And the Trailblazers are really exploiting that. Like it seemed like almost every possession they were trying to go at Jokic, make him a target on the defensive end, almost sort of neutralize his offensive gifts because of them attacking him and his subpar defense. And that was really, really effective for them. And I think they're going to try to keep that going. They're going to try to continue to attack Jokic, going to try to continue to use him and take advantage of his defensive liability. But for the Nuggets, I think the key is going to be, can Jokic, get back to his regular playmaking? Again, we're not going to see him have 1 assist in another game. Like that's just not going to happen. But will he be able to get back to his, 8-something assists per game? Can he elevate that even? Or will the Portland Trailblazers find a way to sort of negate his playmaking, just sort of eliminate that and sort of force him to have his impact in scoring instead of playmaking? And I think that's going to be a pretty big key. Also, I think another key for them will be how they adjust to the Trailblazers attacking Jokic on the defensive side of the ball. Will they maybe use Aaron Gordon in that position? Will they try to like switch Jokic off? It'll be interesting to see how they adjust to Jokic being attacked on the defensive end, being used and exploited for his defensive liability. I think that, and also how they can get Jokic more involved as far as his playmaking on the offensive end. Those are the 2 keys for the Denver Nuggets.
I definitely agree with that. Jokic, he can score all he wants. If he's not playing like a point forward with the passing, the Nuggets have no chance if he's getting under 3 assists a game. I don't think the Nuggets even really are competitive if he's not doing that. And we saw a little bit of that in game 1. But we'll see how that series turns out. Real quick run through. Just say who you have winning the series and how many games. Derek, who do you got in the Blazers Nugget series?
I think I got Nuggets in 6 because I feel like what their mistakes are, they can pick up on. Like it was really just defensive choking near the end of the fourth quarter, because that disparity did not really start until the fourth quarter, and then that's where you really saw the scores start to widen, and it's just because they were not just on a dry spell offensively, but they were not stopping the Blazers going through. But I feel like it's stuff they can fix throughout the series. And I mean, like I think Prezi Harden said, like it was like a top performance from the Blazers. Like there's not much that they can do from apart from what they were doing last night, because defensively they're not really be able to stop Jokic. So I think as long as they can fix the issue and he can stop, because like he said, we're not going to see a 1 assist game from Jokic again. So I feel like it's just things that they can fix up and they will still be able to take the series in 6.
Definitely. Spurs the GOAT. Who do you got in this series and how many games?
And I got the Blazers in 7. I feel like they're a team full of people that are really hungry. I feel like Damian Lillard, he's always been hungry his whole career to get a playoff wins. And I feel like Melo, I think this is slightly personal for Melo, because if you remember, the Nuggets were actually booing him during that game. So I feel like he's playing with a reason to win, and so are a lot of the other key players on the Trailblazers. So I feel like the Trailblazers will pull it out in 7 games. I feel like the Nuggets, the pieces that they're missing are going to cause them to lose the series ultimately. So, yeah.
All right. I mean, that's a fair take. I could definitely see this going to a 7-game series, and I honestly really hope those are the most entertaining. Now, Prezi, who do you have in this series and how many games?
I think it's going to be the Nuggets in 7. Again, Denver was exposed for something that they could be exploited for last in that game 1, but I think Michael Malone, he's a good coach. They have the pieces that they need to overcome this series. I just don't know if Portland, with Terry Stotts, we know that he is he's one of the worst coaches in the league, to be completely honest. And so I think Denver is bound to make adjustments. They're not just going to run it back in the same way. They're going to find ways to make sure that Jokic isn't exploited as much on the defensive end, and also to get him more involved on the offensive end. I don't know if Terry Stotts, on the other hand, is going to be able to make those adjustments to sort of make their offense more dynamic, necessary once Denver, does their thing, making sure that Jokic isn't as much of a defensive liability. And so I think because of just the coaching battle should be enough for me to decide that it's going to be the Nuggets in 7. I think Jokic will play better as far as his playmaking goes. I continue to trust Michael Porter Jr. He has been incredible after Jamal Murray's injury, and I think he will continue to do so. And I also trust Denver's role players just a little bit more than the Trailblazers with all of the guys that they've got. Aaron Gordon, I believe they've got JaVale McGee playing for them. And all of those guys, I trust them just a little bit more than the Portland Trailblazers role players.
Definitely. Now let's jump into my favorite game of the night. Game 1 between the Suns and Lakers. We lost 99 to 90. Who do we really? I don't really want to ask who do we blame for this Lakers loss. I think we all know who played terrible. I think we all know Anthony Davis did not step up. He took a step down, and it was really hard to watch. No player for the Lakers got 20 points. Highest was 18 by LeBron, which I'm not going to hate on him for this loss. He had 18, 10, and 7. He had a pretty solid game all around. But what do the Lakers need to do to turn this series around? We'll start off with Derek. What do you think the Lakers need to do here?
I think we'll be all right, because like we saw, LeBron said he likes to dip his toes in the water during game 1s, which is why I don't think he had even 20 points this game, is because it's always like a field test for him. But what we have to do is make sure the AD's not fucking around anymore, because he shot under 30% of the field, right? He was 4 for 15 or something.
Yes, he shot terrible, and he ended with 13 points.
Yeah, but we've seen in these past couple of games, he had 40 against the Suns earlier this week or something, right? Last week.
I believe it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, so I'm not worried about it. I think we can take it in 5 or 6. I think at top 6, I don't think it's gonna go to game 7, but I'm pretty sure there's nothing we have to do to turn it around, because it was only a 9-point loss with a terrible performance from AD, as well as we were able to keep him to under 100 points. So I think we'll be all right. Just fix up AD's performance, and then hope that the rest of the series goes well, with LeBron being more aggressive in game 2s and what follows.
So And yeah, we need LeBron to step up and AD to step up. I mean, like you said, it was a 9-point loss, and we had a terrible performance by our stars. I'm not too worried. Spurs, Lego. We know you're a LeBron fan. So, what did you think of LeBron's performance in Game 1, and how do you think he's going to elevate his game the rest of the series?
So I feel like yeah, I think he was for sure feeling out a little bit. He took a lot of shots near the end of the game that I didn't really like. LeBron is known to hit some threes every once in a while, but I feel like when we're trailing, you shouldn't be taking threes like that. I also feel like it kind of made me miss LeBron on the Heat and even on the Cavs, where like he would just take a game over. And I know this is game 1, so it's not that big, but I feel like I really just wanted LeBron to kind of just drive and put his head down, and because I mean he's gonna get fouled every time. It's easy free throws, but yeah, I feel like LeBron's gonna definitely pick up his pace, and I think that Anthony Davis for sure needs to be better. If I'm LeBron, I'd have to slap him or something in the locker room. Like, it's embarrassing, but
Take his
I think
Xbox
it's nothing
away.
to worry about. Yeah.
Yeah, no, are you concerned at all with the Lakers?
Not really. I mean, like I said, it's game 1. I mean, honestly, I think the Booker had a really good game, and Chris Paul didn't do that well. I'm really like hoping that Chris Paul is not seriously hurt, because that would that'd be terrible. But I feel like with him being a little hurt, and I just feel like we'll do better. It's nothing really to worry about. It's just game 1.
Chris Paul at the end of that game looked like he was just out of it, struggling to dribble the ball up down the court. I was very worried about him. Prayers that he comes back 100%. But Prezi, so what do you think the Lakers need to do to turn this series around in Game 2?
I think as far as turning the series around, first of all, they got to find a way to stop Devin Booker. They can't let Booker go off on them for every game. They're not going to stand a chance in the series. They can. I'm confident. Through the up and downs of a team playing the Lakers, playing LeBron. I remember after game 1, after the Rockets, where I was so high on my team, like, yeah, we got this. We're beating the Lakers. We're going to the Western Conference Finals. And then it just never happened. They just went 4 straight. Gentlemen swept, moving on to the conference finals. But again, I think as far as adjustments go, I think all that they have to do really is get Anthony Davis back on track. He can't. I think he dropped 13 points, 12 points. Let's see, 13 points. Yeah,
13
he
points.
can't score 13 points. He can't score 13 points and expect to like even stand a chance in this year. And he said it. He said, I played bad, and I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen again. And I trust Anthony Davis. He's been in these situations before. I obviously trust LeBron. He is, one of the greatest playoff performers ever, if not the greatest playoff performer ever. I trust LeBron. I trust AD, and I trust the Lakers. Again, the Lakers are my finals pick to come out of the West. And I think as long as they can figure out a way to slow down Booker, I think the Lakers will be 100% fine.
Yes, I think the Lakers will be fine if we get an answer for Booker. I think that's the only thing that we really need to solve defensively. Offensively, we all just want Davis to step up a little bit. So we're going to wrap that up right about here. I want to thank everybody for coming on. Huge thanks for Derek for coming on.
Sir.
Huge thanks for Spurs X Lego. Don't know if this was your first podcast or not, but it was an honor having you on, man.
Yeah, no, it was my first, and thank you. I've been looking forward to being on.
Hey, man, if you ever want to come back on, shoot us a DM. We'll have you on as soon as you want.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Bet. And Prezi, it's always an honor to have you come on. You were one of my first guests, and you'll continue to hopefully keep coming on because you're one of my favorite. You're one of my favorites to come on, man.
Of course, man. It's always a pleasure to talk to you guys. Always a lot of fun.
Definitely. So again, thank you guys for showing up, and peace out.